Hola, welcome to another episode of Quien Que Donde, where we talk about what God is doing through us in the country of Ecuador. One of the common questions we have and what we'd like to address today is the question of where will we be within Ecuador. We spend quite a bit of time talking about the four regions of Ecuador. We talk about the size, we talk about kind of the economics in each section, but where will we be? Where we'll be based is in Misahualli or Misahualli. It depends on kind of where you learned your Spanish. The ja is a little bit more Argentinian influence. The yi is a little more Castellano, and so it kind of depends on where you learned your Spanish, how you would pronounce that word, which is actually an important element of learning Spanish, which is going to be coming up in another episode. But we're going to be there. It's in the Pestana. The Pestana is the eyelash, the eyebrow of the foothills of the Andes. So right where the Andes meet kind of the Amazon plain is where we'll be. And in being there's a really kind of a strategic reason for us going to that area. That's where the paved road ends. That's where kind of the last services are, right? That's where the health department is. That's kind of the market town for the more rural villages in that area. From that space, you take a taxi, which is usually a four-wheel drive truck, down the gravel road to wherever the boat landing is, and the villages that are along the way. And then from the boat landing, you take a canoe to whatever the next landing is and hike to the top of the hill, because in an area or an environment where you measure rain in feet rather than inches, right? Meters rather than centimeters, you don't build on the low ground, you build on the high ground. And so being able to get to those jungle villages is a little bit of a challenge, but by being in that central hub, by being in that market town, usually there is someone on a fairly regular basis from those remote villages that are coming to that market town. It allows us to form relationships so that we can be invited to those more rural communities. It also allows us to serve as an interface or liaison from an educational standpoint, from a healthcare standpoint, and hopefully even from a law enforcement or a safety standpoint. That's one element of our ministry that we're still exploring and expanding, given my background in law enforcement as a law enforcement trainer. That gives us the opportunity to be in the right place at the right time so that God can form the right relationships that allow us to build disciples, to be disciples that make more disciples in their individual communities. So that's where we'll be, the town of Misahualli, south of Tena in the Napo province, right on the foothills of the Andes Mountains, the headwaters of the Amazon River, being able to reach into those communities that may not have as much access to education, to spiritual education and spiritual development, to healthcare, etc. As always, thank you for your support. Thank you for your encouragement. If you're watching us on YouTube, we ask that you would like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching us on Facebook, comment with questions that you'd like for us to address in future episodes. And until next time, hasta luego.